I'm Jessica. I'm from Montreal, Canada. 21 years old, and I'm a small group leader at the School of Ministry in Toronto.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jessica, how did you had really powerful insights the other night on Gomer, and that's why we was asking you to do another, do this for a camera so we can let other people see it. How did you come to this? Just reading the story of Hosea?
Yeah, it's kind of always been a huge story for me. Like, it's marked me in such a way because I find it such a powerful story about the heart of God and where we stand with God. And I really felt to share it on that particular day because another girl who was with us in the team, Candace, was talking about honor, and I felt God was just speaking to me about honor and how He honors us. And He just like reminded me of the story of Hosea and Gomer in the Bible, and how that is actually a story of how He honors us and what that looks like. So basically, for me, the way God spoke to me about it was kind of like, you know how Hosea was asked by God to marry this woman, Gomer, who's a prostitute. And the whole reason for that is because at the time God really wanted to show kind of like what Israel was doing and how God is like in this position kind of like the bridegroom and Israel is like the bride, and how Israel just kept on kind of like committing adultery and just going to other gods and idols. And so Gomer was kind of like a symbol of Israel and how they kept on just turning away from God and going to other things, just like Gomer would be doing to Hosea as a prostitute. And God was basically saying, like, Hosea, marry her because, like, I also choose to marry Israel, to stay with Israel, regardless of what they're doing. And God was speaking to me about how Israel is actually parallel to the church, to us, to Christians. Israel was kind of like the start as God's people and kind of paved the way for Jesus. And then now the whole world is involved in this really big story. And so the story of Gomer actually is not just for Israel. I believe it's actually for all of us, for the whole world, and it's kind of like a beautiful picture of what Jesus did for us. And now Jesus is the bridegroom and we're the bride. And basically God was telling me about honor, and it was kind of like, you know, you can do the worst of the worst. You can, like, you know, like cheat on Him in a sense, like turn away from Him, go to anything else. If you prefer to, like, you know, like love, sex, rock and roll, anything that you would prefer to go to other than God, God still says, you know what, like, you're mine anyways and I love you anyways. And Hosea, in the Bible, it says that when he bought her with 15 shekels of silver and a homer and a lethek of barley, which like basically silver and food, to buy this prostitute to be his wife. And it's kind of like he's honoring her, he's giving of himself to have this woman to be his. It's not just like a normal story of man marrying a woman. It's actually like he's buying her as a prostitute and then he marries her. And God was saying, you know, like, He gave much more than that. He gave more than silver and just part of His livestock. He gave His own life, His blood. That is what He bought us with. It's like, it was even a more amazing picture of what Jesus did, was that he paid the price with His own blood so that we can be His. And the phrase that just came to mind that God said was like, I gave everything to marry the prostitute. I gave everything to marry you, to marry the prostitute. And I just think it's the most incredible story, and I just feel so honored that God would do something like that for me and for all of us, just knowing what we've done. And He just does not look at that. He looks right past it, and He honors you as like a man would honor his wife, and He's given it all for you. So that's...
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks. That was really good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Really good picture. See, I'll edit stuff.
Huh?
I'll edit stuff. What was that just then? We were talking after we turned the camera off, and you had these great... Tell us that part about the other parts of the...
The other parts of it. Hang on. So it's kind of doesn't end there, I guess, with like the whole wedding part and how he's like, I'm gonna marry her. It talks about how it says actually, therefore I am now going to allure her. I will lead her into the desert, and I'll speak tenderly to her. There I will give back her vineyards, and it just goes on to talk about how she's going to sing as in the days of her youth. And and basically it's kind of like removing all like the, I don't know how to say it, like the stuff, I guess the bad stuff in her life, and then just giving back all the good, and how she's just going to be just so pure and so happy. And actually she has children with Hosea, and the children are called, let me find it, I know one of them is called Not My People. Let me find it. It says, yeah, Lo am I, for you are not my people. And there was the other one was called, I think, Not Loved, or Not, sorry.
No, that's good.
But basically the whole story turns around in the end where God says, like, you know, like, I will call them my people. Yeah, here it is. And I will call those, that were called not my people, you are my people, and they will say, you are my God. And I'll show my love to the one I called not my loved one. And so it just kind of turns the whole thing around, and it's like they didn't do anything to deserve it. He just does it, and basically says, you will no longer call me master, you will call me my husband. And so it's just really cool. You don't have to do anything, and turns it completely around. He does all the work, he pays the price, he takes you in, and he loves you.
That connects too with the father's heart. I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
The thing that we notice about students from Toronto is that y'all are really well. That really gets deep in all of y'all.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then it really does affect, I guess, your viewpoint of everything, of how God works, about praying for the sick, healing, words from His heart. Everything is coming from that same place, and that story really is about that. It's like, how could He be this way?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how could God so be this way?
No, it's really, it's so hard to understand, but yeah, it's actually just what we were made for. It's like, it's coming more and more clear to me, actually, kind of like all of us are just running around without realizing who we are, and it's actually like, you were made just to be God's child, just to be His son and His daughter. That's what I was made for, and all I have to do in life is just enjoy God, enjoy my brothers and sisters, and just like, it's actually simple, and it's like, it's just the most amazing story. And yeah, like you said, everything comes from that relationship with Him, and that's like, you can't do anything without the Father, and He's paid the price for you to be with Him, and all you have to do is believe it and just take it and accept it.
Yeah. See, when we meet you after you've been in school.
Yeah.
And that this is kind of like grown in you over months and months, and I can tell that it affects how you go about doing everything, how you interact with others.
Yeah.
Because it's coming from that place. It's how you talk to your Father in heaven.
Yeah.
Because you talk to Him probably differently than you did when you started. Because
definitely,
as this becomes more and more the awareness of this truth, of this is the relationship with Him, then it changes the words you use, your what you anticipate He'll do, or whatever He's up to, and you know it's coming from someone that loves you.
Exactly. You go from talking from a place of shame to talking from a place of honor and sonship. So it's just, your language changes, your perspective changes, everything changes. So it's been a great journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody should have such a journey. Yeah.
And He inclined and heard my cry. He pulled me up out of the miry clay. He set my feet upon